Welcome back, everybody. I'm Michael Hara from the Hero Complex, and I'm joined today with my dad, Dale Hara, and we are super excited to talk with you about an awesome comic book crossover that is going to be happening this week. Before we get to that, though, I'm really excited to be here in the Fortress of Solitude, also known as my dad's basement. This week we're thinking, how cool would it be if we actually had our conversation down here in the most awesome superhero environment that you can be right outside the Hero Complex?
Now, someday, this awesome environment will be in the Hero Complex.
That's right. Some of the things you can see behind us, this is all going to be things that you'll get to see in person at the Hero Complex, but not quite yet. I think a really cool place to start out is I was talking to my dad. I was like, well, what do we want to talk about? Yeah, we want to get to Superman and Spider-Man. It's really neat that this comic book crossover is coming, but I want to know about what it was like when you were a kid and the comic book, the original one, first came out.
Well, my memory of collecting goes all the way back to being a kid. I loved going with my mom and my sister. We would go to a pharmacy, and there was always a rack of comics. And I was really attracted to cartoon character stuff, Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry comics, and superheroes. And one of the first comics I remember buying that was a Superman comic was this. This is not my original comic. This is one that I found. It was graded, but it was from 1974. So I was 11 years old. This is my first memory of a Superman comic, and it's Action Comics number 439. I love the art on here. This is in really good condition. But as time went on, and going to the pharmacy and stuff, they always had comics. This was a little before, there was probably comic shops at that point already, but I was too young to go on a bus or do anything like that. So a lot of my comic shopping was at that drugstore. And I remember for the first time, one of the coolest things I found was this. This is the original version of one of the team-up books. This was a Marvel DC collaboration where they did a comic book with Superman and Spider-Man together. This book is 50 years old. I got this when I was 12 years old. It's hard to believe. I've taken such good care of it. At some point we will show you my treasure chest where I've kept all the stuff from my childhood. But this was the first time Marvel and DC interacted together.
Can I ask a question, too,
Sure.
while we're in it? So it threw me off because a little bit when this comic book, the reprint, came out, it threw me off that it was so large. Honestly, I was expecting all the pictures that I'd seen previously had it comic book size in my mind. Is there a reason that it was done so big?
I think by this point, Marvel and DC both had done these treasury editions and oversized format. This was probably almost out of Marvel, maybe the 25th one they did, and maybe the 20th or 25th one, up to that point with DC. So, I mean, I've got a good amount of them, but it was always large. I think they just wanted it to stand out. I've seen this shrunk down to a comic book size, and it just doesn't do the art justice. Because one thing, it's not shaped like a comic book. It's
got the proportions are different.
Yeah, so when they reprint it, there's like white on the bottom of them. Soon after that, Marvel and DC found that this was working out great, and they did the second one. And this time they're not fighting each other, they're teaming up, and they're fighting Dr. Doom. And that was pretty cool, the parasites in it. And then I'm sure at some point that DC and Marvel will come along and they'll do the third one.
Yeah, this would be cool if we got a Hulk Batman crossover.
Batman. And what's really neat about it, I loved the crossover stuff. And I think when I got into my older teens and began to see different team-up stories and things like that, I just thought they were the neatest thing. I loved the Justice League. I loved seeing the Avengers, where you had all these heroes and characters all together. And when I got into my 20s and being more of an adult collector, when they started doing stories where there was these major crises, this is when I think I really became sold. This is something I want to do forever. And Crisis on Infinite Earths came out, and it was a hit. It was a revising of the DC universe. And then, about the same time, there was a version of it from Marvel called Secret Wars. And man, I've always loved when the heroes interact and connect with each other. And what is really cool about this all, over the last 2 months or so, they've reprinted these and they're pretty much identical.
Yeah.
This has probably got a little higher quality paper on it now than what this did back in the day. I have no idea what the value of this one is. If you can see it here, it says $2 when I bought it. That one's $20. So it's
$19.99.
10 times as much in 50 years. But I don't know what the value of this right now in this condition, which is pretty nice.
So cool. We were talking about it ahead of time too. So there are some minor variations, which facsimiles usually have a little bit of minor changes in them. But I'm curious to know, like, when it was originally came out, in the stand, was it this kind of whitish yellowish, or is that just aging over time that's maybe happened?
I think it's aging, and you can see right here in the coloring on Superman's cape.
There's a definite color difference.
Yeah. And that they might have just decided to make that a little bit more pronounced when they recolored it for this version.
Facsimiles are cool, but there's nothing like the original article. It's really neat to see them reprinted, and I get almost every one that comes out from Marvel, but there's nothing like having that the original release. A little piece of history, honestly. Did you want to talk about what it was like to read that and have that first one?
Well, again, as a kid, I just thought it was the coolest thing to see that.
Yeah, me too. And actually, one of the things that you could talk about that'd be really cool we could highlight here is, so this is an awesome piece of art.
Yeah.
You have a completely unique piece of art in physical form that we can probably show too. That's a statue. You want to talk about it?
So there's fan groups out there on the internet that they will get a bunch of guys together and say, hey, what do you think if I could recreate this three-dimensional? Would you be interested in ordering it? And they might say, hey, I need 40 people to do it. I might need whatever it might be. And so they created it, and this will be on display in the museum once the museum is open.
It's probably like 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
It's actually sitting behind us right now too. Well, going back, I guess, shifting gears to this brand new most recent crossover that's come out, Superman and Spider-Man. You can pick this up at the Hero Complex. There's a lot of really neat variants that have come out as well. So if you're one of those variant collectors, they've done homages to the original cover that came out 50 years ago. That's really cool. We are going to have some fun picture opportunities as well. If you come into the store, you may or may not see a life-size Superman and a life-size Spider-Man, and as well as
giant prints of this that you can stand next to. And maybe you're buying a comic for a family member, a child, and that could be their first comic, and maybe 50 years from now they can be talking about when they received it.
That would be so cool.
That'd be cool.
That would be really cool. So we hope that you've had fun kind of taking a stroll down memory lane about Dad's past and kind of some of our past. We love sharing this with you. We hope you come over to the store. We love to get to meet you, talk about the fun things about why you love this stuff as well. We love superheroes. We want to promote superheroes. What makes them great? And how do you discover the hero within? That's what Hero Complex is all about. So thanks for joining us today. Thanks, Dad, for kicking off our first conversation down in the Fortress of Solitude.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.